Out apologies for being late once again. This time it is my fault, but it wasn't because of personal reasons, professional reasons. I was involved in a detailed, long, 1 hour long meeting in which I had some coffee and biscuits also. It was so long.
I heard you were doing some number crunching.
I was doing a lot of number crunching. Absolutely right. I was doing a lot of number crunching. So yeah, but I mean that, you know, it's the year end, as you all know. Everyone has to do hisab. So we also have to do hisab of kya khoya, kya paya over the year, over the last year gone by.
Did you end in the green, in the red? What did the balance sheet look like?
No. Because it was Sports Today numbers. The numbers are more than double compared to last time. So it's well ahead in the green. But that's not how you assess things. So I mean, without diving too deep into it, you assess a lot. I mean, you negate some things, you take out something, minus that, plus that, what is going. So there is always, you know, that's what takes time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of to and fro. And by the way, it's not over as yet. I mean, that was just sarsari. So it's just done. Like a macro thing has been done. And now we will have subsequent meetings going forward. As is, you know, when you have year end, what do you call that?
I still want to get
Hisab kitab?
What do you do the audit.
Audit, yeah.
Lekha Joka.
Audit. Like you do the financial audit. Bahi khata. You see. So like that.
Bahi khata.
That came from Shivam. Do you understand the meaning of that?
Yeah, sort of.
So anyway, because of that, apologies for being late. Because, you know, it was a long weekend, so the sahibs weren't there, so you know, you could only do the hisab kitab
early in the week.
Did you get this again? This was doing the rounds on Instagram yesterday. This meme of, you know, people or this random guy with a slip, the caption saying कि यार white की entry दे दे.
किसकी?
White की entry. पक्के की entry दे दे.
Okay,
last
so
day of the financial year, no? Yes.
I know. So because of that, sorry. But we have lots of information, lots of interesting things to talk about. And that pertains to, I mean, today I put my foot down when I was talking to my team about, you know, what will be spoken about in the dugout. I said anything but MS Dhoni. You made a record for 3 dugouts in a row.
Can I tell you something?
He has been the focus of your attention. Though all 3 dugouts, the conversation has been different. But he's been the focus. So
but
not 4 times.
I think I'll
as much as we love him,
I'll stand by.
We have to move on.
I'll stand by a collective decision of ours to go with that yesterday, even though it marked the 3rd successive day, because today, out of the 3 papers that I usually glance at, 2 of them had one of them had a front page piece on MS Dhoni on the lines that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, so did you see the dugout?
One even did a proper featured piece also.
Yes.
It was the lead story of their last page.
No, but somebody sent me that on social media, or did I see it on social media, like the most spoken about, I saw one of the posts, the most spoken about subject, you know, you have these data where you look across all social media platform and which is the most spoken about topic that can come out with the agencies who do that. So that can be anything. Let's say there is a Myanmar earthquake can be a topic, this, that, whatever. The most spoken about subject, number 1 was MS Dhoni. The chatter, basically, the chatter across mainstream, social, everywhere has been MS Dhoni. So then that justifies us doing a hat trick of MS Dhoni dugouts. But as I said, for each day there was a different line that we took on MS Dhoni.
Something, I would say, seismic in the world of cricket would have happened, because otherwise there's bigger things happening in the world. There's ceasefires being broken, there's distrust, and with Donald Trump doing Donald Trump things, you're approaching second tariff and all has to happen tomorrow. In all of this, MS Dhoni is the most talked about. So imagine the scale.
Surprising. He is Thala for a reason. Thala for a reason. Anyway, today we're talking Rohit Sharma, and I think it's prompted by what happened yesterday. We did speak briefly in our live show as well, but now there are a few reactions as well coming. Let's take a look at the first reaction and get the ball rolling. We got Michael Vaughan, again an outspoken cricketer who always comes out and says things as it is. Sometimes it's a bit of an exaggeration as well, I must confess. So
but
what
perhaps
is he?
not this time.
What has he said?
So
Wasim
Michael
Jafar would also agree.
I agree with Wasim Jafar.
Michael won while doing the post-match analysis for yesterday's game against KKR. Went ahead and said that you should judge Rohit as a batter now because he's no longer the captain of the Mumbai Indians. If your name is not Rohit Sharma, you're probably losing your place in the side at some stage with those kind of numbers.
So just a couple of questions. So what he's saying is that two things. Is he saying that Rohit will now not lose his place despite these numbers because he's Rohit Sharma? Is he also conceding
I think
that?
what he's-
Because if your name was not Rohit Sharma, is what he's saying, then you would have been dropped by now. But now, since his name is Rohit Sharma,
Exactly.
he's not being dropped.
He's at least not getting dropped as of now.
But he's not ruling out
Yeah, had he been any other player, he would have been dropped by now.
right now.
Yeah,
after 3
absolutely,
matches.
absolutely.
Okay, but he's not ruling out the fact that he can be dropped in his mind in the future in this
Yeah,
season.
and that's what I think his first comment pretty much seals the deal, because if I try to read in between the lines, judge Rohit just as a batter now because he's not the captain. Now that he's no longer the captain, you are judging him as a batter, and obviously he's not performing well, so you might have to take a call.
Okay, let's try and answer that question. If it was, there's no point actually talking about if it was not Rohit Sharma, because if it was Naman Dhir, he definitely would have been dropped. That's true, but that's true for everyone. I don't think Rohit's got any other advantage of with that at all. It's like you could even say if his name was not Surya Kumar Yadav, then would have been dropped. If you were some young kid,
Even Tilak for that matter.
anybody. So I think that is a given. That is if it's a young kid not with a big name, 3-4 innings, if you don't perform, you will be dropped, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And then similarly, extending it, if you are a Rohit Sharma or you're a Surya Kumar Yadav, whatever, or a Virat Kohli, you're a big name in cricket, then you will get a longer run, and I see nothing wrong with it. So I'm not putting that hypothetical scenario if it's not Rohit. So let's talk about Rohit Sharma. So as of now he's playing. Do any one of you see merit, or you're even going down that line that he could be dropped in the future, or in this season?
I think the Mumbai Indians will keep that as the last resort to a last resort also. It's the last thing that they would want to do in this season.
So not going to happen.
I
What
think
are the chances? You think?
Yeah, I'm giving it a very small percentage chance. I don't have a number in my mind right now, but why I say that is the backlash last year was tremendous. And what cannot be challenged is the fact that the success story of Rohit Sharma in the IPL is also the success story of the Mumbai Indians as a franchise. So how do you sideline a player? I know it's the second season, but if you look at his track record for the last 6,
Take
7,
out his numbers,
8
Shivam.
years, then the numbers for Rohit personally aren't inspiring. But suddenly, how do you discard the man who led you to all the 5 titles, and he started off as a youngster at the same franchise? Yes, you've done enough in terms of showing him or sidelining him just a bit, and you've given a very strong message to the fans and to the concerned player that we are looking beyond you. But we know where those chants came from. We know where all that support from Rohit comes from. Everything, he's a big player in terms of Mumbai cricket. So for the franchise to then completely sideline him in the midst of the season and not even have the 11, I think could lead to far worse repercussions than what we saw last year. The fans were just unhappy with the captaincy being stripped. The reaction this time could be a little beyond even what they can imagine. So I think it's going to be the last resort for Mumbai Indians, regardless of how he plays.
Okay. I think if I am an important member of the Mumbai Indians franchise, then I'm not going to shy away from dropping Rohit Sharma midway the season. I am actually going to do that because for me, cricket matters. I think you have rightly pointed that, he is the one under whom Mumbai Indians have won their record 5 IPL titles. But let's just remember that the last title that they won came way back, in 2020. It's been now 5 years now, almost half a decade, if you look at it from that way. If he's not performing as a batter, those consistent runs aren't coming, nor for that matter, those fiery knocks aren't even there. I'm going to drop him. It's as simple as that. It's not just one season. It's been 2, 3, 4, and it's been close to 5 seasons now. The last great season that Rohit Sharma had as a batter was, I think, 2016 or 2017.
But just on that, his 24th last season looks not bad. He's averaging 32 and a strike rate of 150. His 2021 season doesn't look bad. It's again an average of 30 with a strike rate of 127. And why I'm taking that strike rate, because this was that one that happened half in UAE where big scores weren't coming and that sort of a strike rate was acceptable. So for me, 21, 24 seems to be decent seasons.
See, 24, I think it just turned out to be a decent season because of a 100 that he got and a one big 50 plus score that he got.
But you know, that is how it is you judge a season.
From a broader perspective, I don't think he was consistent. And that's what I think Mumbai Indians as a franchise, look, if the player is not really performing consistently, then better to look past him, and they have done it in the past also. So for me, if I am an important member of the MI franchise, I'm going to look past him. But obviously, you know, that said, I'm going to wait for another 3 more games, maybe 3 or at max 4 games. If the single digit scores continue to persist, better to have someone with fresh legs.
See, I mean, again, if I was managing Mumbai Indians and if I was in a position, let's say like a Mahela Jayawardene or whatever, I could take a call. So I'm not thinking of dropping Rohit at the moment. And I'll tell you why. I'm just not, see, as I said, his last year numbers are not bad, and then I'm also looking at his impact that he's had as a batter in white ball cricket, right? So he had impactful knocks in the Champions Trophy as well. He was your standout batter in the T20 World Cup. Some fantastic knocks.
Australia, England,
2 knocks that really come to your mind. So I don't think his powers are waning. Test cricket is a different thing, and we'll get to that subject a little later. But I'm looking at white ball cricket. I don't think his powers are waning. I would want to have him because he's quite an impact player right now. But then what crosses my mind is that IPL is ruthless. It's the same IPL where they even thought of changing him as captain, even though his captaincy record is outstanding. And all of us really were I was personally very surprised that they decided to do it. So it shocked me. That's what I'm saying. My logic and my thought process is very different to what the IPL franchises think like. I didn't think that they would have changed Rohit as a captain. I still thought he had a season or 2 as a captain to continue contributing to Mumbai, and they needed to do a transition, but maybe a couple of years later. I think they were early. So that surprised me. So my conventional logic is that I don't think of dropping him as of now. I think he can have an impact as a batter, but then they proved me wrong before, and it's a good possibility they can prove me wrong now. Not only the captaincy, but I look across IPL and then it takes me back to Gautam Gambhir having to lead captaincy in the middle. Dinesh Karthik left captaincy in the middle. You had a season in which Ricky Ponting was changed midway by...
David Miller also left the captaincy midway.
Correct.
Even Shikhar Dhawan got injured last season. Sam Curran was there.
Correct. So there are big calls.
Ravindra
You even dropped a David Warner midway during a season. He was like an absolute legend at SRH. So all I'm saying is that there are lots of examples to suggest that name on the back of the jersey, as impactful as it might be, these IPL franchises think very different to how we look at it in international cricket. So, but again, my personal opinion is I would persist with him. And I think a major thing will also be dependent on where Mumbai Indians are going. See, if they keep cruising to wins, then I think even if runs are not coming from his bat, I think you will give him a longer rope because it's really not hurting the team. I think things will start to get interesting, that if runs don't come from his bat, which I think it will come, but in the worst case scenario, they don't. And then you're also losing a few games, winning 1, losing 2. You know, that sort of a scenario where you're fighting for the playoff. Then you might be forced to take a harsh call. But are they heading towards a harsh call even now? And for that, we'll show you some visuals. And now I'm going to get body language experts in Harshit and Siddharth to... So this I'm seeing on social media. What is this telling you? I don't know, because a lot of people in social media are saying, are they having a conversation about the future? To me, it looked like very chill conversation, and I think all is well. To me, this picture says all is well. I don't know about you guys.
See, if the pictures were as extraordinary as they were when KL Rahul was in charge of Lucknow and the owner was Sanjeev Goenka, it would have been easy. But these images are difficult to talk on. They seem sort of okay to me, just a conversation between talisman of the team and the team owner. I am sure, there could have been some awkward silence as well because of Rohit's form. But I trust the Ambanis to not make a mockery of the way that one of the other owners has done in the past. And I think it's a lesson for everyone that you don't wash your laundry out in the open. So I don't expect the Ambanis to be going down that route anyway. Yes, they're ruthless in terms of a franchise, and they must be. They're part of a very competitive league. But these visuals were just about, just look at Rohit. He's confident. He's got his arms behind the back, as you would when you're talking to your senior or to your owner, and he doesn't look perturbed to me. So I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All is well. It's still.
Maybe I'll try to put it in words wherein Rohit is asking Nita Ambani that do you also have you also lost faith in me? And then Nita is like, no, you are still our number one choice.
Yeah. I think it's all well.
All is fine basically.
Yeah, if I was to just
all is fine.
joke around, the conversation could be like, why are there so few summer holidays? Yeah, my daughter, needs to get some break and come and watch my match, because that she goes to the Ambani school, and she is of course the owner, the chairperson of Ambani school. So maybe the conversation is that, come on, you should give kids a little bit more holiday.
Also,
there's one more thing.
Yeah, this is admission time. Is he probably having a chat about the admission of the second kid?
Maybe. Yeah, the next one, please keep a seat.
Or was he complaining maybe about the fact that his daughter's finding it hard at studies, so he's asking the curriculum to be just a little easier for young kids?
No. I mean, again, guys, don't take that seriously. It's all in good fun.
Shivam, let's take a look at that image again. Maybe Rohit is, asking that, have you also lost faith in me? And then Nita Ambani is like, apart from Jassi Bhai, I also believe in row ball.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I think it's a very casual, very calm conversation. But I must tell you, now that we're on that subject, I must tell you, this is a lesser known fact that, after what happened in that season, last season, and all that happened on the ground and on the social media, and the kind of bad press that came Mumbai Indians' way, they were all made to sit down. You all saw that picture as well of all of them. But I know that, as much as the owners treat this as a family, and they quite, go out of the way to help everyone. And this is one thing about Mumbai Indians, you have to give credit, where they look after the injured players, even when they're not part of the IPL. They spend on them their, injuries and so on. So they invite them for all family functions. They actually treat it like family. You may like it, not like it, that's another thing, but that's the truth, is what I know, because I know a lot of people that work in and around that system. So that's a good thing about them. But see, what happened on that occasion, I know this for a fact, that the owners were very forceful. When that meeting happened, it wasn't just a meeting like, sometime a meeting is happening, let's say, three of you, Shivam, Harshit, and Siddharth, are having an issue, and there could be a meeting where if I'm managing you as a team, then I say, forget it, let's order some chai, biscuits, what is your favorite thing? I make you guys eat, and it's a fun kind of a thing, and I help you guys break the ice, and it becomes normal. That's one way of doing it. The other way is that I sit and I say, listen, whatever said and done, you don't get along, whatever, that's your personal headache. I'm not ordering any chai, coffee, whatever. Or I'm not, telling you to be best friends. You can be what you want. And, it's none of my business. I'm not going to meddle in your personal affairs or your equation with each other. But hello, I manage this team, and I don't want my work to suffer. Yeah. Right? So my work of this team needs to continue, and please be professional and give your best to this. If you don't get along, that's fine. Don't go, to eat chai samosa together. But your work should not be compromised because you're not. So I think it was the latter, where even though they are quite magnanimous and very family-like otherwise, but on this occasion, after what happened last season, I think they were very categorical in saying that, listen, we cannot allow this to happen. What happened last time in terms of crowd behavior, this and that, and things that really came out from the team, or the noise that was coming out of the team. We need to be all professional about it. We need each other to watch each other's back. We need to back each other. I want 100% commitment from all of you. Yeah. All of you need to step up, give that 100% commitment. We are committed to you. You need to be committed to us. And I think that talk did the thing. So it wasn't much about, breaking ice. It was more about letting everyone know that, see, this is the culture that we want, and let's continue with that culture, which is why there was that decision also taken in terms of how the money was split and so on and so forth. So this is something that they did, and you are now seeing the results of that, where I think Rohit is very, I mean, of course he was hurt. I would be hurt if I was Rohit Sharma and you removed him. But this season you see the kind of commitment he has he gave the pep talk ahead of the last match. He's actively involved when he's on the bench, even when he's an impact player, telling what the team to do. So I think that now, where they may have been pulling in different directions and they were not on the same page, I think that has been sorted by I'm not saying forceful, but a authoritarian sort of a meeting that happened, where you were told that this is it and let's get down to business. And as things stand right now, they are down to business.
Okay, and maybe I think these are also signs that Rohit being actively involved is also a thing that maybe he could be the next mentor of Mumbai Indians. It could happen, when he decides to call it quits.
He'll make a great mentor. Yeah. But they already have Sachin.
Sachin Tendulkar has always been there, and he will always be that unofficial mentor.
Anyway, MI has a big support staff.
He can work in the SA20, ILT20. There are many teams.
No, he'll work.
I'm director of cricket.
But you're actually thinking of Rohit's. What do you think is Rohit's future as an international player? Because just to let you know, the contracts will be out very shortly, and I don't think there was any debate. This is something that we had even reported a few days ago. Both Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli will feature in A+, and that don't get into the nitty-gritties as to he's playing this format, not that format, this and that. A+ is for your top players, at least you're playing 2 out of the 3 formats sort of a player, and it's also being done retrospectively. So a lot of the months that have gone by are seen. So it just so happens, like with most things, like we come late, so contract also are announced after half the season is gone. So the remaining, so you have to look back at half the season where they were playing Test cricket and ODI for India.
Yeah.
So 2 things: if they are in the A+ contract, which they will be, I think I can confirm that pretty much. That does not also mean that it is for the year coming in the front and it's any sort of indication that now they are going to continue playing the remaining 2 formats. They could, but they could not as well. I'm just saying that don't treat it as a guarantee, because half of that thing will be done, I think, till October. It'll be valid. It's October to October.
30th September, yeah.
So
1st October, 30th September.
That's your timeline. So half of that has already gone by.
So it's about rewarding what's been done in the past. These are retrospective contracts and
at least
future
6 months.
Future looking and retrospective at the same time.
Yeah.
So they're also.
So all I'm saying is that they will be in A+, that we are telling you, but that does not mean that it guarantees them a test. But that does not also mean they are out of the test, which we'll get into. But I'm saying just look at it based on most of things that have happened where they were playing Test cricket and ODI cricket for India.
The kind of
what happens in the future is another.
Because it's retrospective and forward-looking in nature, don't confuse it to be a casual contract that happens in New Zealand cricket. These are very serious contracts.
No.
Okay, I'll give my 2 cents, and then maybe you can tell us what's the new thing that you have for us and our family members. I personally think that India are not ready for life after Captain Rohit Sharma in Test cricket. But then this is the time to make that move ahead of the England tour. You would want a new captain, because Rohit, the leader, the batter, did not inspire any confidence throughout the Border Gavaskar Trophy. You may not have Jasprit Bumrah ready to be the full-time test skipper, because his fitness in itself is a big question mark. So you may have to go to a Shubman Gill or a Rishabh Pant. You might just lose a few matches initially. But I think this is the right time for India to look past Rohit Sharma, to have a new skipper, because I don't think that his form as a batter and even as a leader also inspired any kind of confidence in the last few series after the Bangladesh. It was the 3-0 mauling that you suffered at the hands of New Zealand, and also the Border Gavaskar Trophy. For me, Rohit Sharma as a Test cricketer, I think is done.
If you were the selector, you would
absolutely.
And that's to say, just extending that, so it doesn't matter. Well, we can confirm, all but confirm, that A+ category is where Rohit Sharma will again be featuring in for the nth time.
And Virat Kohli.
But that contract comes with no guarantee that the next prominent Test series that you are playing, Rohit Sharma, by virtue of being in the A+ contract category, gets to play in the England series. Or Virat Kohli for that matter. But I think the axe, if there is on anyone, I think is more on Rohit Sharma than on Virat Kohli. I think the selectors will be guilty. If you ask me personally, the selectors will be guilty of mixing formats. If you're giving Rohit Sharma the leeway for what has happened in terms of getting hands on the Champions Trophy, then I hold them guilty, because this whole standing down business that happened and how woeful he was in Australia and prior to that against New Zealand at home as well. The whole home leg, in fact, all those 10 innings that we saw, including the Bangladesh matches, very little that we saw in terms of promise from Rohit Sharma. He's not getting any younger, unfortunately. You're looking at, and as has been seen in the past, or as it should be going forward, you're looking at the start of a new test window. And in that new test window, if I am giving making some sort of an exception, it can be for Virat Kohli for his rich contributions to the game's longest format. But sadly, Rohit Sharma's contributions and Virat's, there's a big gap between that. So for Rohit, if you have to take a call, yes, give him the contract for now for everything that he's done and will be doing, because he's going to be an active member of the ODI setup. I'm fine with the contract, but a call needs to be taken. It's the start of a new window. So I'm completely fine with Rohit not featuring in England.
See, just because, under Rohit Sharma, India have won the T20 World Cup and the Champions Trophy, but knowing that he might not be a regular starter in the test format going on from June, July 2025, I don't think,
Why can't you have him as a regular starter?
I said might not. It can happen also, or it cannot. That's the point. See, Rohit Sharma for England tour is not a guarantee. That's what at least, I think. Obviously, you can tell, what are the latest things you have for us and the family members. But for me,
No, I have nothing latest.
No, I'm sure you must have. I'm sure. It's not like that you wouldn't have anything. No, but my point here is that with the kind of form that he has shown, I still don't understand the logic that as to why you would want to keep him in the A+ category. I think A is still fine. Because according to me, he's a sure shot in just one format, and I don't think he even merits a place in the other.
Because you're looking back at the 6 months also, na?
Absolutely.
So there he was playing test cricket.
No, but in the last 6 months, there have been no results to show in test cricket.
Yeah, but you can't drop somebody from a contract based on the performance. See,
But that's how players are being rewarded, or...
No. It's if you're a regular member. See, if you're a regular member of a side, then you are in a A+ contract. You're playing test cricket, and so you're a regular member. Now the performance has not come, then for the next, let's say, cycle, if you're dropped from one of the format, then you go down from the contract. The rest is pretty much, taken care of. It's like you're getting the Khel Ratna. Khel Ratna is,
Got it.
It's like if you won an Olympic medal, now you get an Arjuna. It's as simple as that. So it's pretty much that. So I don't think the contract is an issue. Contract, as I said, is done and dusted. It has no relation to what happens in test match. And I think even the selectors will have to sit down and take that call. Now, what is interesting and what has really transpired the last few months is that, and at least from what I know, and I would not say it on record if I wasn't 100% sure as to that was the mindset. From what I learnt, that Rohit had pretty much made up his mind to give up test cricket in Australia. As he dropped himself from the last test match. From what I also know, that the selectors and the coach were keen to have him play the last test match, but he said that no, he didn't want to take he didn't announce his retirement, but he in his mind had started thinking of life without test cricket. And so he decided to drop that time momentarily, because maybe he, for the sake of the team, thought India need to do well in that test match. Because see, again, people will again come charging at us that you are doing Rohit's PR, this, that, now you're creating this narrative that he was selfless and all. See, truth be told, if you were Rohit Sharma, nobody could have dropped him at that occasion. He could have failed and not played test cricket for India again. He can miss that test out and still probably not play test cricket for India. But at that moment, there was no pressure, and that I can confirm from either the coach or the selectors that no, you need to step down. So that was his call. He could have very well played. You couldn't have stopped him then. Yes, you could have dropped him from the next test series and not have him as a captain. But that option for him was open to play the last test match. Okay. And as I said, I think the people there in the management were keen for him to play. He decided, for the sake of, and credit to Rohit for that, he decided for the sake of the team. Whether it's a right decision, wrong is another debate. Personally, I thought he could have played. What's the worst that could have happened? He wouldn't have gotten runs. Him not playing is already, kind of sounded the death knell into his
True.
test match career. Maybe he played, who knows, one good knock and things could have changed. We don't know. So he decided that he does not want to play. And from what I hear, that he had started envisioning a life without test cricket being there. The reason he didn't announce his retirement, because he didn't want to, it wasn't something that you needed to announce immediately, right? He could have come back, he would announce it after a few more months. Also remember, people may like it or not, as soon as you announce that you have quit as a test cricketer, you already left T20 cricket. I mean, your brand, your name also takes a big beating, right? So why do I have to do something that harms you? And I would also do the same thing if I was Rohit's position. Even I would not want to announce. I could say, okay, Thik, I know I'm not going to play test cricket, let's say, in my mind. But 6 months down the line, for 6 months I may have existing contracts, I may be doing a lot of work. I'll let that continue, maybe closer to the test series I could have announced. That is the thought you could have had. But from what I hear, from people close to him, that in his mind he had started thinking of life without test cricket. Now there's a twist in the tail. The twist in the tail happens, Champions Trophy happens. Rohit is outstanding as captain, and I'll get to his one-day career.
The one thing before we move into the Champions Trophy, because that happened later, if Rohit Sharma had started to think about life without test cricket because of that massive lull that he was going through for about 4 or 5 months now in test cricket, then why would he come to the broadcaster and then say, this is my decision, I'm not going anywhere?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. That's because why should you be announcing a retirement when there's 6 months? The reason I feel, and there is no 100% way of, saying it with full authority. This is only something that Rohit can say. But I think the reason he probably came and clarified, because the narrative that was formed at that time was that he was dropped from that test match, that he was told, which is far away from the truth. What he came for that press conference was to let you know that he has opted out. He was not dropped from that test.
He stood out.
Yeah.
Yes,
so that was the purpose of that interview, is what I
at the
felt,
same time,
or what I pick up.
At the same time, my question exactly being, when you say that he had started to think about life beyond test cricket, so clearly that was a feeling that he was playing test cricket with for a while now. Then what is it, while he had to come and allay all those rumors or all those reports which were doing the rounds that he was chucked out of the side, etc., etc., why did he have to then say, if he had already accepted or had started to tread on that thought of life without test cricket, that I am not going anywhere?
No, there's no correlation with that. No, I may be, let's say, leaving this organization.
He said that format specific,
I just
right?
made it. See, again, clear distinction. He in his mind doesn't want to play test cricket. So he is opting out for a test match. If I'm leaving this company, right, and there is a rumor that I was chucked out, I may have decided to continue a life without this company. But if I get a chance and somebody comes and speak to me, I'll let them know that I wasn't chucked out. I have decided to quit. That's exactly what he did. So there is no correlation with that.
But he also said, what he also said was, "Main kahin nahi ja raha."
I just explained that, Harshit, that because there is still 6 months.
Because
why should he announce it now? Why should everyone know that his test career? That's the narrative being formed. No.
So the idea for that was, when he said that, the idea was to have that brand value in place, have that just forget the brand value, yes, just that mental stability that it will give him and to everyone else concerned.
See, there are a lot of people that he needs to speak to by deciding.
Yes.
So he didn't want to say it immediately.
So he didn't want to disturb the status quo.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just telling you that he had spoken to a few people where he had thought of letting go. And I'll tell you another thing. Where did this whole thing happen? What is the genesis of it? It's not just Rohit Sharma's poor form. Actually, again, from what I pick up, see, the team was also in a bit of a disarray, especially after the first test match. You win the first test match.
In which he wasn't there.
Yes, he was not there. And then he joins the team in Canberra for a practice match. There was a practice match in the middle.
And there's a Mr. Fix-It now.
No. That all had not happened. There's nothing here. India has won the test match. He joins the team in Canberra. From what again I gather, that the team was in disarray because, see, forget about those team dinners and all those things that you heard. The problem also arose is that there was a bit of a confusion over now who should be the leader going forward? Should it be Jasprit Bumrah, who's won you a test match? What is going to be the chain of command? What is it that I'm supposed to do? So what that did was, in that few days that the Indian team was in Canberra, it was party time. So it's like, again, we come for work, we have a structure, we follow that. And let's say that there is a disturbance in that status quo. We don't know, there was a new boss, the other one had taken leave, he's come back. You don't know now, he had different ideas to do what. So from what I gather, that this rumbling started during Canberra. Now what to do? So see, again, he is also a sensitive guy. He understands what is happening, what is better for the future of Indian cricket, and everyone thinks of it, whether it's Rohit, Virat, people can say whatever from the outside. Everyone looks at their own career, but they also are answerable to the team that they built. So I think those seeds could have been planted, but maybe in his mind he thought he'll get runs, but then that series also doesn't pan out like that. Worse still, the team is losing as well. So I think that is what culminated in him into deciding first not to play that test match, and then to do an interview that, listen, you are thinking that I've been robbed. No, that's not the case. I have opted out, which is true, which is factually correct. He opted out. And then he may have spoken to a few people that I don't know whether now, I'll continue test cricket. That was there. That you thought was the end of the story. Now the twist comes, India wins the Champions Trophy. And I think, when you taste a bit of success, you enjoy that success. And I think Rohit, the captain, was outstanding, both with the bat as well as the captain. Now there is this burning desire that maybe, is there a flicker of hope? Maybe I can. Because see, again, if I was also in Rohit Sharma's place, I have now the opportunity of maybe going for another ICC title. WTC cycle goes on for 2 years. Now, me may have a different opinion because we're from the outside. We may think no. But sometimes when you taste success, you get that boost, that if you're feeling a bit low, you're going a bit down, you get that boost. So what I believe that there was some conversation that happened after that Champions Trophy between the BCCI and Rohit Sharma, in which case there was a sort of assurance given to Rohit that yes, we can look at it extended, or at least if not extended, another shot at Test glory. Another shot at Test glory. This is a sort of not written on paper, but there's a conversation that's happened between this also I can confirm, between the BCCI top brass and Rohit Sharma right after Champions Trophy. Now that has happened. So I mean, it's maybe fired him up, it's ignited another hope. But now the thing is, Indian cricket finds itself in a bit of a quandary now. What do you do? Okay. Now, maybe there is a bit of support now from the BCCI after, this success at the Champions Trophy. Maybe you can't guarantee anybody anything, but okay, you're also happy as a board. Player is also showing desire. He's a big name by itself. Maybe you're tempted to give him another chance. But now you also got to understand that the stakeholders, which includes the BCCI, that will include the coach, that may include the selectors, also have to think of the future of Indian cricket. Now you're in a position that you may make that leeway for a senior player. But then what happens? Now this is a worst case scenario. What happens? Let's say you look at 2 matches. 3 matches. What happens if your bat doesn't fire in those 2 matches? What happens if you don't get runs? Would you then make changes in the middle of the series? You know what happened when you made changes in the middle of the series as a captain as well as a player? Are you risking yourself to do that? You've had a disastrous test season already, losing to New Zealand, losing to Australia. You want to lose to England? No. So let's say I'm the selector, what is the right thing for me to do? Honestly, if I'm looking at Indian team, then I'm like, see, it's the end of one WTC cycle. I need to start afresh. Rohit's not getting any younger. Test cricket is not the easiest form. Again, can I tell you, if you ask me, I will keep Rohit the ODI captain till 2027 because I think the batter, Rohit the batter in white ball will fire. Rohit the captain is unmatchable. He's quite good. He's one of the finest that India has had. And if you can use that experience to win another ICC 50 over World Cup, why not? I'll keep him. But in Test cricket, sometimes age catches up, right? It's caught up with the best of them. Reflexes are not the same thing. You can counter-attack in white ball cricket, hit through the line and get runs, play impactful knock. That may not happen in Test cricket. Now, if I'm a selector, what am I supposed to do? I have to see that I send a team that can win. And now it's a new WTC cycle. The time is now to have a new captain.
Exactly.
It is the time for you to have a new captain. Yes, you may fail, but then this is a new cycle you're building. You can't be going in, okay, 2 matches, runs come, Rohit continues, that's another fine love story. That is okay. That's all when it's hunky-dory. But if the runs don't come, would you drop him in the middle of the series? If you drop, who becomes the captain? What happens to India's test series? Are you
That's going to
ready
create
to
an even bigger chaos.
Exactly. Plus, would you want to now be in a situation where a name like Rohit Sharma has done so much for the Indian team, be in a situation where he has to face the ignominy of being dropped, of losing captaincy mid-series? I don't think that's going to be right. So, I mean, if you ask me again, if I was BCCI president, secretary or selector or whatever in a position to take a thing, I probably would have a conversation with Rohit and I'd say that, listen, I want to make that transition now in test match cricket. I obviously, cannot decide for what you have all the right to decide, but I think time is right now. I make a transition for captaincy and we go with a younger team. There are players waiting. You can continue to play domestic cricket, and then obviously everyone has the right to mount a comeback. As a selector or chairman or president, or I can't decide for you, but the right thing would be, keeping his image in mind, would be better that we announce a team without your name. The best thing would be that if he comes out and says, then he also goes on a high. He goes out with a lot of respect, where he says that, listen, I've opted out. I think time is right for me to hand over the baton to somebody else in test cricket. That I think would be a more amiable solution that can work for everyone. I think the best possible solution. And have a conversation that, listen, for 2027, eyes closed, you are our ODI captain, player, you look after that team and go for another ODI title.
I think it's a +1 for me, because if you have to look at the future of your test team, the time is now. And that's what I think I also said, before this also, that despite the fact that, Shubman Gill is struggling in those Sena conditions, and despite the fact that Rishabh Pant has also just come into the test picture after a long time, he did not really do well in the BGT. He was found out. Australians did, found a lot of weaknesses in his batting. I think that, you would want a new captain for the England series. There are going to be those instances wherein you will lose those matches initially, those big matches, but then you have to plan for the future. And with Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant having age on their side, and one of the advantages that both of these cricketers have in case as compared to Jasprit Bumrah, is that fitness is not really a major concern for both of them. I think this is the time for BCCI to take that call. So for me, I think Rohit as a test cricketer, as I said earlier, I think it's done.
Why not Bumrah continue as captain if he is fully fit?
That is the problem with Jasprit
Bumrah. How about see again? Do you see a correlation between? See, we all know there was supposed to be a meeting between the BCCI secretary and the chairman of selector in Guwahati, and that had to do with the contracts as well as the future of the Indian test team, which happened in England. Now that has been pushed. Do you think it's possible it got pushed because you're waiting on Jasprit Bumrah's fitness?
I think Jasprit Bumrah's fitness has
because then that helps you decide about captaincy, and does Rohit stay, not stay? Could that be the reason?
I don't think so. I think, see, in case of Bumrah, one thing that has been established over the years is that his fitness is going to be a little dodgy, and it is going to stay that way. You would want to preserve him for all those important matches, but then, come the England tour also, there's going to be a total of 5 matches. You would want to preserve him after knowing what happened in the Border Gavaskar Trophy at a crucial juncture of the series in Sydney. Had he not been, overbold in the previous test matches, things would have been different in the 5th and final SCG test. So that's where I feel with Bumrah's fitness, he is very crucial for you as a player. So better to have a Shubman or a Pant or maybe someone else as a captain, because Bumrah, the player, is very important for India rather than Bumrah, the captain.
I think, I have a feeling that if they do go down that road and do the transition for captaincy, they may give Bumrah the captaincy if he's fit, which I think he should be fit for the England series. And on an occasion that you really have to rest him, on that test match or two you could have, or if the injury happens or whatever, you allow the vice captain, whoever that might be, either a Shubman Gill or a Rishabh Pant, they step up. But I think for now, they may give the reins in the hands of Jasprit Bumrah. That's
But I think
my,
that'll be very unfair. And the BCCI will then have to answer some serious questions. And I don't know if they will ever turn up to answer these questions, because just about a year back, you took the captaincy away from somebody who was doing extremely well. And that was Hardik Pandya. You didn't give him the captaincy, or you took the captaincy away from him and gave it to Surya, saying that we're not sure because he plays the 50-over format as well. We're not sure about if he can continue or not. Now, whether it was punishment or not for the fact that he cited the one time, I think in South Africa, when he made himself unavailable, and then Surya was made in charge whenever for family reasons Hardik Pandya took that break. If that was the case, then let us know about that. But if
but they won't say na.
Exactly. So
They'll
if
say
the
it
reason
in
was
the way that you're saying it.
Exactly. So if
if that is the reason, then you can't.
Then you can't have Jasprit Bumrah the captain as well.
But maybe for Bumrah, fitness is the reason. Maybe for Hardik, fitness was not the
Then
reason.
let us know.
That to you'll never let.
Hardik
You
was
do know Bumrah's fitness status.
Internal
right now.
feedback, na? Hardik was internal feedback.
So then you need to.
Yeah.
But what was also said again, we've heard it from several people, and those who want to you bury some rumors, as Rohit Sharma did. We talked about the Sydney episode of that, because there are reports that have also suggested that Hardik was let go of from the captaincy position because of fitness issues as well, or the feeling that he would be unfit at some point. Now, if that was the feeling with Hardik, you should have the same one for Jasprit as well.
I think then in case of Rohit Sharma, there should be a clear feeling, or not even the feeling. I think you can look at the numbers. They are in public domain for I think everyone to see. Rohit's test form in the last 2-3 years hasn't been encouraging at all. How does he even then merit a place in the Indian team?
The thing that goes in favor of Rohit is when you were building up to the 2023 final of the World Test Championship, he had scored the most runs for India. Remember, Virat wasn't scoring runs for you then. He, in fact, even after that, got 1 century.
And got his numbers last 2 years.
Yeah,
I think it's a
you can say
fair thing, which isn't great numbers. By the way, for Virat as well, the numbers haven't been great. But what Virat has done is got a century here and there. Plus, in South Africa, in tough conditions,
he was your best
looked
batter.
like your best batter in those tough conditions. So I think that will allow Virat a bit of a cushion, as in, he goes to England for sure. But I think the sword's also hanging there in terms of his test form. And that could be the make or break tour for the future of Virat, the test
batter.
See, Virat also, while, as I said earlier in the chat, there's a massive gulf between Rohit the batter and Virat the batter. Virat at least got 100 in Perth. After that, there was nothing to show for, but Rohit didn't even get those many runs.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why he gets a bit of a longer rope. Also in South Africa, in those tough conditions, he looked like your best batter. So I think with him, you may still give. And plus, truth be told, overall, Virat's test record, again, is far superior. So that, I think, goes in his favor as well. So I think, those things put together then will really decide as to what happens. Let's quickly take some comments based on what we've discussed.
Medhan Shroff has a comment that if the BCCI is worried about transition in ODI captaincy, a great option is Shreyas Iyer, who is a sure shot starter in the team and is a proven captain. Did Shashwat make this comment?
Shashwat is a different name.
No, I think Shreyas Iyer still has a lot to prove.
No, just joking. That is Medhan Shani. He is a regular viewer.
I think in case of Shreyas Iyer, he still has a lot to prove in Test cricket. He might just be recalled for the England tour after having a good Ranji season.
He make a return in your contracts as well.
Yeah, absolutely, he will. But is there any update about Ishan Kishan? Will he make a comeback?
It's a tough one. I don't think he will, because he's not playing for India in any format right now. Na?
And
look
plus,
at his
even the performances in domestic cricket weren't that encouraging too.
Yeah.
Like he played consistently, but those big scores did not come.
Now at least now he's reached the stage where he's going to be considered. But once I think he makes a return to the Indian team, maybe then.
Okay.
Sharan says, Nikhil bhai, why is DC not playing at home in Delhi? They are 27th, I think, is there.
I think what he's asking is why for 2 seasons now, 3 seasons now, they've played the first 2 matches in Vizag.
That is because everyone is now adopting more and more homes. Like
also,
RR is playing in Guwahati.
The ownership model, no?
The
ownership model
they
again.
Have no connect. I know that GMR owns half of it, and they've got
huge businesses over there in Vizag.
Yeah, I know, but then that's one thing I've never liked about. See, if you play in your catchment area, I understand. You go and play in Dharamshala, I can understand, right? that catchment area, or Punjab goes and plays in Dharamshala, I can understand. But Punjab playing in Indore made no sense to me.
Yeah.
Or Delhi going and playing there, or Rajasthan playing in Guwahati. I mean, fine, you can spread the game, that's all right. But maybe have the KKR team play in Guwahati. Or
I get your point,
Patna.
but I think the reason for that is 2 matches over there because you've got half your ownership and they come from that part of the world.
No, I know
and
that.
Then there's,
but that just doesn't add up for me.
yeah, I would have also wanted there to be just one. Look at Guwahati and the story of Rajasthan. They don't have a good record in Guwahati. Again, they're faced with a similar situation where there's ownership, where there's, that there is historical context to why that city is relevant to them. But from a cricketing aspect, it puts the players also in a difficult position because the league is such. You've got teams like Mumbai and Chennai that bank and thrive on home advantage, and it just turns your season around fully.
It's a big miss if you don't get all your home games. I agree. Mayur Kashyap, Test cricket is important. Who will win WTC 2025 since conditions are even for both South Africa and Australia and Lords? Please make separate video and please comment. Okay, Mayur, taken your point. We'll do of course a preview of the WTC
obviously.
final. We will. And top of your head, who are you to go for? I mean, Australia because of pedigree.
Yeah.
Just that.
And now Lions also fit. So is Cameron Green.
Cameron Green, yeah.
Both.
Dave says during Sydney Test when Kohli took command, body language of players was positive and we put up a good fight even without Jasprit Bumrah. Prasid took 6 wickets. Yeah, I remember that.
Kohli should be brought back as captain.
I think before that, even if I'm Virat Kohli right now, I'm more worried about my own batting form in Test cricket. Forget captaincy. And I think Virat's made it very clear himself that he doesn't want to go. He made it very clear with RCB as well, who were keen to have him, but he allowed that thing to. So I think he's moved beyond that.
Okay.
But I agree with him. It's just that he does bring in a lot of energy. I agree with it.
Okay. Dave is also saying that he was depressed before BGT, but when India won the first test, his depression went away as they crushed Australia. It returned after Rohit became captain and then India lost 3-1.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your comment. Vishisht
bias.
Nikhil sir, thoughts on KL Rahul playing with intent on first match? First 3 balls, strike rate of 300. If he plays with his mindset, he is back in T20.
He could be.
Good question, because see, that slot for wicketkeeper batter is open and I think he knows that. And he's batting in the middle with this. I've often told this to people, I see a lot of practice sessions. When you see KL Rahul in the practice session, he's one of the sweetest timers of the ball. And then when he hits those sixes in practice so effortlessly, I sometimes wonder, why doesn't he just use these shots? Okay, you can get out. But if you have this repertoire, and some matches he suddenly wakes up and does show you that. And then some matches he chooses not to do it. So, but you're right.
The 15 runs I think is all he managed the other day. But those 15 runs, the way they were scored was good to see.
I want to see him play like.
Okay, Ishan Bhatt has a comment that
Love sports today.
Thank you so much. Bumrah is an excellent choice in leadership role, but it will come down to prioritizing and crucial that Bumrah, the bowler or the captain in the subcontinent, will he play all the matches? Even overseas also, I would ask, will he play all the matches?
Right now as well. See, we knew...
I think if you're transitioning, maybe you may still go with a Bumrah. And he's done well as a captain. So,
but
my question remains...
If he gets injured after 2 or 3 matches, then what do you do?
Also, are we sure a fully fit Bumrah, as he comes back, a fully recovered, recuperated Bumrah, who's now set to return to the IPL at some point in a week or 2, hopefully this week, then are we sure after this IPL, whatever 5-6 matches that he'll end up playing, that he can give you all 5 matches in England? Yes, there would have been a gap from the end of the IPL to the start of that series as well. But at the start of any 5-match test series, can it be said that Bumrah will give you all 5?
No, but I think maybe that's a risk they might take. And my feeling.
And like we touched upon Perth, that there comes in a new captain, there's a change of philosophy, the mood changes at times. There are people who want to be captain, multiple people in a team who want to be the captain. Yeah. Suddenly there was...
This is a bane, everyone I hear about IPL teams now, everyone wants to be captain. This is a captain, I want to... What is this,
Yeah, okay.
It's also happened recently.
You make people unhappy, it reflects on the social media these days.
People will remember you as a player,
The day the announcement was made, there were 2 players we've spoken of.
Virender Sehwag is loved by one and all, not captain at all. Chris Gayle, AB de Villiers, Sachin Tendulkar, brief captaincy stint. You love them for the players that they were. Exactly.
Venkateshwaran has a comment that why can't KL be a choice for test captaincy? He's calm, can do well in red ball. Do you see KL coming back to T20? If this IPL goes well for him, he can be a good anchor. See, he can come back into the T20, but he really needs to have a massive season in the obviously 2025. But KL as a choice for test captain, I think he actually hurt his maybe chance here because he did not really do well in the final 2 test matches of BGT.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think had those big scores come,
It left him exactly how he had started.
But you can't. His batting has been hot and cold. So if he's not a certainty, eyes closed player in test match
If there were
cricket, which
question
is
marks
not
about
good,
him,
so you can't make him a captain.
at the start, there was a grimace on one face or the other when KL Rahul's name was included. He did well. After that, you changed his position multiple times. The confidence was taken. At times, he was responsible for his dismissals as well. So he left. He didn't do himself any good, I would say.
Yeah.
Whatever was made of KL Rahul at the start of the BGT was the exact opinion you had of him at the end as well. I don't think there was a change of heart for anyone, for good or bad, whatever reason.
Yeah. Maka Waka from New Zealand. It's quite a Maori name, I must say. Just sends us his love. So thank you for taking your love. Will you take questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sports says that KL isn't a good quality test player, is what he reckons. But I'm afraid if that's firstly the word that I'd like to use for him. But again, sports in Perth, he showed you, and for the first 2 test matches, in fact, he looked very good judging the swing, the pace of the ball, the bounce, everything that was over there in terms of challenging conditions. KL Rahul looked like the most comfortable batter out there. But yes, I understand where that sentiment for KL Rahul comes from. He will again give you these performances. Remember, he's the only Indian to have 2 back-to-back centuries at the Centurion. So he'll come up with these performances once in a while. And he leaves us in a bit of a situation, KL Rahul, with these performances here and there.
Yeah. Frickin' awesome had a comment, Shivam. Yeah, let's say Rohit will play only ODIs. After IPL, he'll play only 9 ODIs in the next 6 months and 18 in 2026. That's not much cricket. Do you think it's enough preparation for 2027 ODI World Cup? I think that's still pretty okay.
Yeah.
Because I think there's too much cricket obviously played around across the globe here. So about 27-28 ODIs before the preparation for the preparation of 2027 is still okay.
I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Also, now there are just so many matches that you can play. You can't do anything about it. That it is what it is.
True.
Siddharth says, sir, haven't we made Rohit too big? Each big batter in India is ever judged on test career. Never had any 500 run series or when he got purple patch with Drew South Africa series, didn't play the 5th England test as well. Valid points, very valid points. But again, we're all guilty. See, again, Indian cricket is at a point where, like we're talking, going forward as well, what he's done as a captain for the Indian team and that record, at some point, you really cannot help it. It becomes very difficult for you to ignore the contributions made as a captain. Now, remember, you've gone 3 ICC tournaments, losing just 1 match.
Yeah.
Now, when you come up with these sort of performances, it becomes very difficult for you to not mix formats, then, which can or could have been the case in the past and can be the case going forward as well. But such has been the timeline. What to do?
Yeah. Ishan Bhatt has a comment that the point he was making at large, that if Bumrah, even if not injured or rested, it would mean change in captaincy frequently, and captaincy needs stability. And that's one of the major reasons why even I also picked either Shubman Gill or Rishabh Pant to be the next captain, because with both of them, one thing is 99% guaranteed that fitness is not a problem.
Yeah. Tarun says, how do we see Shubman Gill's captaincy? Sena average is less than Bhuvi, since Nikhil's still around. Nikhil, you want to take that? Because Tarun wants your thoughts on Shubman Gill's test captaincy. He says Sena average
Less than Bhuvi.
is less than that of Bhuvi. More time? Yeah, he was averaging in excess of 45, I think, in Indian conditions. So yeah, just give it.
My first choice is Pant anyway.
Yeah, so Nikhil says that Rishabh Pant remains his first choice if you're looking past Rohit Sharma.
But I think they may go with Bumrah.
But what he's learning is that it could be Jasprit Bumrah. He seems to be the front runner if that captain's armband is to go around. Davis Cricket says, what is India's future without Virat and Rohit? That's a completely different
I think T20 cricket
dugout topic.
Yeah, T20 cricket, India are going very well. ODIs also, I don't think it's going to be a concern at all. Test cricket might just be a concern for the next few months or maybe a year or so. But then I think India will definitely find the replacement.
Yeah, because
good enough.
I don't think you have enough replacements for these guys and people that you've tried at times. You know, Devdutt Padikkal comes, plays a couple of matches, then he's out. Rajat Patidar you tried was in to the system and then went out quicker than he came. You talk about Sarfaraz, classic example. You didn't play him a single match after whatever. He scored 150 here in that New Zealand series, but you didn't give him a single game. So yes, in Test cricket, I'm also afraid the preparation isn't up to the mark, but I'm not afraid about T20 or ODI cricket. I think over there you got enough talent in the bank.
True. Priyanshu has a comment that I think it all depends upon Bumrah's fitness. If he's back, he becomes captain and one young vice captain. Otherwise, BCCI will surely go with Rohit as captain. I think that's what I think we have also, probably discussed, that India may not be ready for life after Captain Rohit Sharma in Test cricket, but maybe this is the right time to make that change. Anshu Mishra has a comment that Siddharth, now 18 January completed the 10th anniversary of greatest ODI innings of all time. Beast legend AB de Villiers came to bat in 39th over and smacked 149 of 44 balls, including 16 sixes. Greatest maybe player here. Anshu, there's an interesting story that revolves around this AB de Villiers' innings, that he wasn't even set to come to bat at that particular position because David Miller was the preferred choice for that position, but then the then South Africa coach, I think it was Russell Dominigo, who told AB de Villiers, no, you are going to come to bat. Yeah,
it was against West Indies.
Joburg.
Yes,
Yeah.
Joburg. Pink jerseys that day. What is Dave trying to say over there?
I think he's referring to that comment of Anshu, greatest OAT.
Innings of all.
Okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Siddharth has a comment that last couple of comments that I guarantee Bumrah wants to win England series as captain. He's really determined for tests, and that's what we want as skipper, not someone who maybe passes a reaction which is very different when India suffer a whitewash. Okay.
Anyway, in fact, let's turn our attention also to the match that we are building up to now. It is Punjab playing their second match. They'll be up against Lucknow, who are going to be playing their third match. It's a mixed start to Lucknow. They won the second match, lost the first one against all odds. That match was against the Delhi Capitals, but made a strong comeback against SRH at the toss. As Shivam had reminded me, the question asked to Rishabh Pant was that what if they score 300? He said that we're going to be chasing it down, but they made light work of the team from Hyderabad the other day, and they would want to be getting their second win, as would Punjab, who under the leadership of Shreyas Iyer have made a good start. And Shreyas himself, change of jersey, change of location, change of everything for him, but he's kept his form that he showed last year and he showed in the Champions Trophy. 97 from him the other day, didn't get a century, but the talk around Shreyas Iyer was extremely positive, so much so that we are now looking at him being back with a central contract as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think in this game, I personally feel at Ekana, something that we have seen in the past few seasons also, the team that has good spinners might just have that advantage of playing here. In case of Punjab, you obviously have Harpreet Brar, there is Yuzi Chahal also. Lucknow Super Giants, they have Ravi Bishnoi. There is obviously Shahbaz Ahmed also, who could make a comeback in these conditions. There is Digvesh Singh too. But I think that depends upon who really uses their spinners very well.
Yeah, let's tell you more about the pitch and it's some interesting numbers as well that make this clash. There's just a little down, Shivam. We've gone to up. Yeah, just go down a bit.
Yeah.
There was an interesting stat over there. Yeah. So LSG three victories in favor of LSG as against Punjab, who only won one match. So that's the matchup between the two sides. And when the teams met in Lucknow last year, so that's another thing you must know. When the teams met in Lucknow last year, also that was the first game for LSG. The hosts had won by 21 runs, and Mayank Yadav had won the Player of the Match award. That's when he dazzled us all with that pace. But speaking of Lucknow, mixed start to them so far. What is it that we look forward to in this match?
I think their top 5 is going to be their biggest strength. Something that we saw in that game against SRH. Also, you lose a couple of quick wickets, then obviously you're going to be in some sort of a danger. But I think once again, all will rely most of it, will rely on their batters only.
Yeah. Let's give you some news about the pitch if we have that, Shivam. So today is a red soil surface. A lot's been talked about the nature of the surface, what kind of soil is being used. We've seen a couple of teams use the black soil a little more of late, which has aided bowlers at times, can be slower as we've seen in the past. So tonight's game will be played on red soil surface. Now that tells me that can expect some bounce and there can be some purchase
initial
for this
bounce.
Yeah. And yes, batters, what we're getting to know, batters will get value for their runs. Seamers are also expected to get some assistance with the new ball. So that's what we know as far as the pitch is concerned. The toss will happen very shortly. But in terms of Punjab, there were some question marks how that partnership could be between Shreyas and Ricky Ponting. Looks like they got things exactly the way they would have liked, and it's a partnership that comes with a lot of promise.
Yeah, absolutely. Still, I think very early days, you would want to see what the results would be in the next few matches or so. But I think it looks fine for Punjab Kings, maybe for the first time in a very long time, as far as IPL goes. So let's see. And they even have better spinners and a better bowling attack too. So I think my prediction for this match is obviously going to be Punjab Kings.
Quick word on Rishabh Pant. I think that merits a conversation, because Rishabh Pant has been left high and dry amongst the runs. It's just not happening for him. Do we see a change in batting position? Is that the answer though to the whole Rishabh Pant situation at the moment? Change his batting position, give him more freedom at the top? Are you of the view that is the one way of just releasing him from all the pressure?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be the same batting lineup for me. It's just been like a couple of games. If he doesn't really get runs in the next few games or so, you might want to have a look at that. But then that also depends upon where would you want to have Aiden Markram, whether he opens or you would want to shift him down the order at number 4 and maybe have Rishabh Pant open. But then I think this is where Rishabh Pant is as smart as a certain KL Rahul. There's no free spot at the top of the order in the Indian T20I team, and this IPL is actually turning out to be more of an audition for that backup keeper slot, or maybe the number 1 keeper slot for that matter. So let's see how things go.
I want in place of Markram.
That's a good option. He scored 100, I think, against New Zealand in one of the recent matches that South Africa played against ahead of the Champions Trophy. So okay, so Shivam, our producer, he wants Matthew Bretsky to replace his countrymate Aiden Markram in LSG's 11. What your thoughts?
Could try, but I think you're not making changes in this one, especially because you won your previous match. I doubt if you're making that change. Look at Mumbai as well. Rickleton eventually did get you runs. There were question marks about him. Don't change a winning combination.
Yeah. Also a Surya Kumar Yadav fan too? Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing though with Punjab, if you have to just turn our attention back to Punjab, last time it was a change in plan. Harpreet Brar had to, I think, come on, but you then had Vijay Kumar Vishak, who was then impact sub. There was an interesting story over that. Today though, I think Harpreet Brar will have a greater role to play given the slowness of this pitch that we've seen in the past. I'm excited to see Harpreet. He is extremely efficient in the middle overs, can block the runs, not the highest wicket taker of sorts, not the ones who will rack up a lot lot of wickets, but it's his change of lines, it's his wicket to wicket bowling at times as well that really dries up the runs from one side. And I'm excited to see somebody who's become like a mainstay of this Punjab team, and very quiet worker, but is extremely effective as well in the middle overs.
Okay. I think that's about it.
Yeah, we'll keep it short as far as building up to this match is concerned. We're done talking about what we were exactly here for, which was discuss the future of Rohit Sharma going forward as an international cricketer for the Indian team. But allow us to take a leave right now. We're going to be back in just about 8 to 10 minutes time. You'll have the toss take place in 11 minutes time, in fact, to be very precise. So that's when we'll have we'll have Shreyas Iyer and Yuzvendra. What am I saying now? Shreyas Iyer, Yuzvendra Chahal, all of these guys take part in the match. But yeah, at the toss will be Shreyas and Rishabh. And I totally need a break right now, as you can see. So we'll take a short break for now, but we're going to be back in just about 10 minutes time, bring you all the latest from the center at the Ikana. That's where that match will take place. For now, Siddharth and I will take your leave. Bye-bye.